Sorry for the wonky camera, guys. We'll get started in just a few minutes. All right, y'all, we can get started. If you are following along on a playlist today, I have mine posted on Spotify. It's Kali, the goddess, just Kali 45, the number. And my name is Noel Anderson on there. I'm getting started just a couple minutes late. Fun technical stuff, first time streaming on YouTube, so had to coordinate some things, but we're here now. So we're going to be focusing on a theme of Kali today, hence the playlist to go along with it, which means a lot of rooting and grounding, focusing on the root and the sacral chakras, as well as just the idea of Kali herself. She's a really powerful, ferocious deity, and it's a fun way to kind of focus your feminine energy, whether you're identifying as a man or a woman. All of us have a little bit of feminine energy in us. Kali specifically has very ferocious feminine energy. So in mythology, she wears a belt made of arms and a necklace made of heads of her enemies that she has physically cut down. So if that gives you a nice mental image of the type of ferociousness we're dealing with, that's what we're channeling today. And we'll get started first on our backs.
Supta Baddha Konasana, or supine butterfly. Soles of the feet come together, knees fall out wide, and then we slowly lower all the way down to our backs. If you are following along with that playlist, you can start it now. And just noticing any sensation that starts to arrive. And as the sensation starts to arrive, whether a gentle or a more intense sensation, just allow yourself to breathe. You might gently encourage a big inhale through the nose, and a nice releasing exhale from the mouth. A few more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And allow the lips to seal. Begin to inhale and exhale through the nose. If you have an Ujjayi breath in your practice, you might start to add a little texture restriction at the back of the throat, like you're fogging a mirror. And this creates a nice warm, humid breath. And a nice sensation that we can feel, and also a sound that we can just gently hear, like an ocean wave in a seashell. Having a breath to focus on, like our Ujjayi breath or any other breath work that we end up doing today, just give your mind a place to go. So focus on something simple like breathing. And just allowing your mind to simplify, letting go of distractions or challenges you may be facing. Give yourself 3 more rounds of breath here in this supine butterfly. You might have the hands resting on your belly for a little extra grounding sensation. You can really feel the soles of the feet touch. Start to feel that nice grounding and rooting energy that we're working with today. Let this be your last inhale. And a full exhale here. And slowly close the knees, roll over to one side, and make your way into a tabletop position. From this tabletop, your fingertips will fan out wide. Press the knees into the earth and the shins into the earth. And just find this nice strong tabletop. The belly button gently tucks in towards the spine. Really press through the shins to allow your low core to engage as well, and start to lift the pelvis a little bit here. And then really press away with the earth, from the earth with your hands. Drop the shoulders away from the earlobes, allowing the sides of your neck to get long. Just finding some strength here. Take one more deep inhale. And a full exhale. Now we're going to start to work with our Kali breath. If you need to look at the camera for a moment, I'll be referring to it as Kali breath, so we'll just run over it now. It's going to be a big, powerful inhale through the nose. And then the open mouth, tongue out, a really ferocious breath out. And we're going to allow this to just let go of any heat or stress that starts to build as we move today. So from now on, we'll just be calling that Kali breath, and we'll know what we're doing, right? Come back onto your tabletop. Walk the knees and the shins together. Curl your toes under and start to walk the hands in nice and close until you can start to lift the knees and press back. Now really press down through the big toe edges of your feet and start to spike the heels as high as you can. You can leave your fingertips on the earth for now. Squeeze the thighs and the knees together. And then focus your vision towards the top of your mat. Find a little engagement of the core, belly button to spine. And you might start to bring one hand to a knee. See how that feels. And then check out the other side. See how that feels. And then if you're feeling pretty good there, trying to keep the heel spiked as high as you can, you might bring both hands and find a little balance challenge in your toe squat. Pressing through the big toe edge of your foot is going to help to activate those inner leg muscles to help support you. If you fall out, the ground is very close, no big deal. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, fingertips back down. Now turn your toes out just a touch, and then touch the heels together instead. So the toes are open wide. And then allow the knees to really fall out wide. Walk the hands in a little bit closer, but about halfway in front of you. Tent onto the fingertips or press through the palms, and then really start to round and fold the chest forward. You can lower all the way down to the forearms if it's available to you. And if this feels intense, which it does for me today, you might walk your hands in a little closer together. So a nice malasana or garland squat variation, still bringing in a little bit of left of the heels. I'm focusing so much on the feet and the toes today. Helps to engage that rooting sensation of connecting with the earth supporting us and that fiery Kali energy. And as you're ready, fingertips for support. Spin the heels in line with the toes, feet parallel. Drop the heels down and then slowly lift the hips high, forward fold. You can take a deep bend in the knees here. You might separate the feet a little wider if it feels good. Then really allow your upper body to just drape and fold over the thighs. Worry less about straightening your legs and more about finding that nice relaxation of the low back. If your low back is feeling really tight, you might pigeon toe your feet, kick the heels out just slightly, keeping that deep bend in the knees. This will help to spread the sacrum a little bit wider, giving you more space to release the low back. Take 2 more rounds of breath here, keeping that Ujjayi breath flowing. And then slowly reset the feet to parallel. Walk your hands out to the top of your mat. Find your high plank position. Really press away from the earth, just like we did in that neutral tabletop. Pull the belly button in towards your spine, heels reach long. Focus your vision just in front of your fingertips. Then with control, slowly tippy-toe the feet all the way to meet the hands, so we're forward folding at the top of the mat. Step the feet in hip width distance or big toes to touch wherever you feel stable and strong. And then slowly bend the knees, roll all the way up to standing for mountain pose. When you reach the top, root down through the feet, reach the fingertips high, allow the palms to face one another. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, allowing the sides of your neck to lengthen. And the arms aren't just flopping, we're feeling that fierce energy all the way from the roots, from the feet, all the way up through the sideways to the fingertips. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Kali breath on the way out, tongue out. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, Kali breath brings you into a chair pose, sit the hips low. So chair pose, pretty self-explanatory. It's like you're sitting down into a chair. For a lot of us, this might be a higher chair, that's okay, like a high chair. Or we might be sitting as low as possible, more of a squat-like formation. We want to see all 10 toes in front of the knees, and I like to think of my knees stacking right over the ankles or just in front of them. And then trying to bring the thighs parallel with the ground without dumping into your low back. If you're feeling this in the low back, try to pull the belly button in towards the spine. Think hip to ribs, so hip tips to rib tips. Just shortening the belly like you would in a sit-up to lengthen your low back. Now see if maintaining that core strength, you can sit a little bit lower. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, keep the legs, keep the hands back behind you. Squeeze the palms in towards one another. Keep the sides of your neck long. Focus your vision in front of you. Start to press into the big toes. Keep that deep bend in your knees. Spike the heels as high as you can, just like we did in our toe squat. Drinking bird. Many of us are familiar with our diver pose. Drinking bird is just a kind of chair squat variation here, but also feminine and graceful. So see if you can feel that rooting sensation and the option for growth of creativity and opportunity here in this shape. Take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, drop the heels down. Forward fold, let it go. Bend into the right knee, step the left toes to the back of your mat. Get nice and long in your lunge here, and then slowly lower the left knee down to the ground, lower the left shin down to the ground. Using that belly button to spine engagement, sweep the fingertips up high. Press the palms to touch if it's available. Interlace everything but the thumb and forefinger for Kali Mudra. You can cross the thumbs over each other. And then allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears, lengthening the sides of your neck. If it feels okay for you today, you can walk the right foot a little further forward and really settle into the hips here, feeling that nice stretch to the front of your left hip flexor. Kali Mudra, similar to the shape of an arrow, allows you to see straight to your goal, aiming true for whatever you need, whatever your goal is, and reminding you that there is space to overcome any challenges on the way. Finding that fierce energy, that support for yourself, regardless of challenge or situation. Take one more big breath in. And a full breath out. Slowly release the hands. Right forearm comes onto right thigh.
Roll the palm open. And then slowly reach the left hand back. Now this might be enough for you today. I'm feeling this a lot in my quads today. I'm sore. But if you'd like to add on, you can slowly kick the left heel in towards your glute, reaching back and grabbing for the top of your foot. Now if you try this on for size and you're like, not today, it's okay. Just let go, come back to that little variation we did before with your left shin on the ground. If you're feeling pretty good here, really actively pull the heel in towards your glute, letting that left hip kind of sag to the ground. Keep pulling the right hip back so the pelvis is still stable here. If you feel a little wobbly, just focus your vision on something that's not moving. Take one more big inhale. As you exhale, slowly unwind both hands to the earth. Step your left knee in a little bit closer, curl the left toes under, start to hover the left knee. Now really, really ground through the legs here. Feel the rooting through your right foot and slowly start to hover the fingertips off of the ground. Reach the hands high, high lunge. Allow yourself to settle into that right thigh, knee stacking over the ankle. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, warrior two, spin the left heel down. Now we're gonna take a different arm variation today. That's an archer variation, going with that aiming true, trying to point straight to our goals here. So imagine your back arm, your left arm here, is gonna be pulling down like you're ready to shoot an arrow, and your right hand will be that arrow, reaching straight up and forward, and then really settle into the legs. And then look right up the center of your right arm through the right fingertip and find that goal. Focus your vision. And find as much determination through this physical shape as you do in your mind in this moment. One more deep inhale, reach the fingertips high. As you exhale, goddess squat. Turn the left heel in, left toes out. Keep the right leg as it is and sit low. Take a moment to bring the hands to the inner thighs to help encourage yourself a little lower into this squat. Now we're really focusing on the goddess energy today with that theme of Kali. So allow yourself to settle into the legs and then find some stillness, some fierceness in this pose. It's really easy to stick the booty back to accommodate a deeper sit, but see if you can tuck the pelvis underneath you, stacking the shoulders over your hip tips. And then as you're ready, sweep the fingertips high, Kali Mudra, leaving the pointer finger reaching straight up. Allow the sides of your neck to get long, sit a little bit lower, take a big breath in, and full breath out. Release the hands high, straighten the legs, take a big inhale. As you exhale, spin all 10 toes forward, cartwheel the hands down, step back, high plank. Finding your nice strong high plank, shoulders stacked over the wrist, take a big breath in. As you exhale, knees, chest, and chin, making a wormy W shape with your body. Pin the elbows up and back like little cricket legs, and keep the arms strong here. Now very slowly release to the tops of your feet, slide your chest forward, baby cobra, Bhujangasana, inhale to lift the chest. As you exhale, hips to heels, child's pose. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog, hips come high. First down dog of class, give yourself a few rounds of breath to pedal out the knees, walk out your dog as they say, and give yourself a moment to just settle in. Now while down dog can be considered a resting pose, for a lot of us it still feels quite challenging. So allow yourself to find just as much engagement as in our chair pose or the other poses we focused on today. Belly button into spine, see if you can reach your tailbone a little bit longer. Worry less about the heels touching the earth, more about bending the knees and getting long through the spine. Fan all 10 fingers out wide, gripping through the fingertips. Take one more deep inhale. And a full exhale. Slowly tiptoe the feet to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Bend the knees, inhale, mountain pose, reach up high. Exhale, chair pose, sit low. Ground through the heels. Find some magnetism between your inner thighs. Allow that core engagement so you can sit a little bit lower through your legs while supporting your low back. Take a big breath in. Exhale, Kali breath. One more time, deep inhale. Exhale, Kali breath. One more time, inhale here. Exhale, Kali breath to drinking bird. Keep the hands back behind you, lift the heels. And press through the big toes. Challenge yourself here. Meet this challenge with just as much ferociousness. If your legs are as sore as mine, I know you're feeling this today. Spike the heels a little higher, see if you can sit a little bit lower. Keep that same direction, that same aiming true. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, drop the heels forward, fold, let it go. Bend into the left knee, step the right toes long to the back of your mat. Lower down to the right knee, right shin. Inhale, sweep the fingertips high. Kali Mudra, interlace all fingers, release the pointer. Lengthen the sides of your neck. If you feel strong here, you might settle into the hips a little deeper today, focusing more on a quad and hip flexor stretch. Allow your left hip to tuck back into the socket so your pelvis is engaged here. We're not dumping even though we're getting a deep stretch. Steady the mind around this breath, whatever challenge or ease is coming with it. Take one more deep inhale here. As you exhale, release the left forearm onto the thigh, palm rolled open. And then reach the right hand straight to the back of your mat. Now this right here is a plenty big twist. You're also getting quite a bit of weight into that right hip flexor. So if this feels like enough, you can stay. Really focus on squeezing the shoulder blades together at the back body. If you'd like to add on, right heel into glute. Reach back, maybe you grab for the top of your foot. Now instead of just reaching for the toes, see if you can grab for a middle section of the ball mound of your foot or the sole of your foot so you're not torquing the knee and the toes so much here. And then just allowing the breath to carry you to a depth that suits your body today. If this already feels intense, you can stay or back out. Or if you would like a little bit more sensation, you can squeeze the heel in. And then if you have the reach, you might even place the entire palm on the top of your foot and find a little bit more depth that way. Take one more big breath in. Without slingshotting, very slowly release the right foot down. Release the hands down, curl the right toes under, hover the right knee. Shorten up your stance a little bit so you can find a little bit more engagement through the pelvis, a little twerkability through your booty. And spike the right heel high, slowly rise up, high crescent lunge, arms frame the ears. Belly button to spine, just think like your chair pose here, supporting the low back and pressing the hips just gently forward. Feel the entire body working here, the burn through the left thigh, the relief through the right thigh. Do not have to be the front support this time. Take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, spin the right heel down, warrior two. Right away, bend your right elbow, finding that archer's arm. Squeeze the right shoulder back. And then the left arm reaches straight forward. You can point with your pointer finger, or you might just extend the entire palm and focus the vision right to that middle left fingertip. Support yourself in this lunge. See if you can challenge yourself to get a little bit deeper. Keeping that fierce body, fierce mind approach here. Take one more big breath in. As you exhale, hands to the inner thighs, kick the right heel in, toes turn out. Goddess squat, sit low. Tuck the booty underneath you here. And then find your Kali Mudra when you're ready. Sit low through the legs, palms to touch, fingertips release, pointer fingers release. Allow yourself to meet this challenge with that ferociousness. Aiming true to what your goals may be today or in this moment. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, cactus the elbows sit a little lower. Inhale, stand tall, straighten both legs. Exhale, all 10 toes towards the top of your mat, hands down. Step it back, your vinyasa. Now you might move with me here, knees, chest, and chin, drop down for worm pose. Inhale to slide it forward, back bend, baby cobra, bhujangasana. Hips to heels, child's pose, press it back. Downward facing dog, hips come high. Pedal out the knees. Come back to the breath. Beautiful, yeah. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees. Exhale, step, hop, jump, or float to the top of your mat. Bend the knees, inhale, mountain pose, root to rise. Exhale, Kali breath, chair pose, sit low. One more deep inhale. Exhale, drinking bird, kick the hands back behind you, squeeze the palms, lift the heels, focus your vision. One more breath in. Exhale to drop the heels forward, fold, let it go, hips high. Ground the right foot, step the left toes back, this time straight to a high lunge, sweep the hands high, right to Kali Mudra, interlace the fingertips, release the pointer. Commit to this lunge here. Find that warming through the low core, allowing yourself to be supported here. Take a big breath in. Exhale, arch your warrior two, spin the left heel down, pull the left arm back and reach straight up with the right hand. One more inhale. Exhale, goddess, turn the left heel in, Kali Mudra above the head, reach. You can sway a little from side to side. We'll take 3 rounds of Kali breath here. Deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, star pose, burst open. Straighten the legs. All 10 toes forward, cartwheel the hands down. Switching it up here, step it back, high plank. Round through the left hand, make sure it's underneath the left shoulder. Roll to the pinky edge of your left foot, stack the feet or stagger them for side plank. Reach the right hand straight up. Now for today's purposes, your top leg will be behind you if you are staggering the feet. Now see if you can lift the right foot a little bit higher off the ground, or maybe allowing it to hover over the left leg. Moving into wild thing or rock star. Top right knee will bend, ground the foot, lift the hips high, find a back bend and lean over. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, cartwheel the right hand down, come back to your high plank. Vinyasa or skip it, we'll meet back in our downward dog. Take your time to recollect yourself. Smooth out that breath. Pedal out the knees. Let go of any tension that's building. As you're ready, sweep the right heel high. Exhale, half pigeon, right knee comes to the outside of the right wrist. For today's purposes, angle your right heel in towards your pelvis. And then slowly settle down. This is more of a sleeping swan variation, bringing the weight a little bit more to the right hip, right glute. Now keep your chest proud here. See if you can walk your hands in line with your hips. Just take a moment to settle in. We're working up to our mermaid pose today, which is really embodying that feminine energy that we've been focusing on with our Kali theme today. Nice rooting sensation. Beautiful, yeah. Now if you feel good here, you feel pretty balanced, you might play around with lifting the hands off the ground and see how it goes. You can start to kick the left heel in towards your glute. Now from here, right hand can come just to the inside of your right leg, reaching the left arm back. So just like we did in our lunge earlier, but a little bit deeper hip stretch. Now if you can, grab for the big toe edge of your foot and start to squeeze the heel in towards your glute. Now if you have a pretty solid bend to the left elbow, you might also start to scooch that foot into the hook of your left elbow, the crook of it. Now this is plenty. Or you might start to bring the left arm forward and the right hand forward and just hold your hands. If you want to find maybe a little Kali Mudra here, that's welcome. Another option is going to be reaching the right hand high behind your head and finding a little bit of a deeper length here. Bringing in those shoulders and a little side body stretch for mermaid pose. Now, if you have the arm back behind you, I have a tendency to kind of press my arm to the back of the head with no resistance from the head. So you can see my chin kind of falls in towards my chest. I'm going to get proud and long through the neck here. And if this feels hard with the bind of the hand, just release it and bring it in front instead. Take 3 more rounds of breath here. Very slowly and sweetly, back out the way you came in. Nice and slow and steady. Release the left leg long. Ground the hands in front of your leg, curl the left toes under, scoot your left knee in. Now really press into the hands, lift the left knee and slowly step back to your downward facing dog, pedaling out the knees and taking any movements that you need here to reset. Feeling the difference between the right and the left leg right now. Then as you're ready, take a breath in, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Bend the knees, inhale, mountain pose, reach up tall. Exhale, Kali breath, chair. Find your core here and support. Keep the hands back behind you, drinking bird. Keep the deep bend in your knees. Lean the chest forward, lift the heels. 2 more rounds of breath. Find the grace and the ferociousness in this balance. Muting yourself in whatever challenges are arising for you today. Last deep inhale. Exhale, drop the heels forward, fold, let it go. Ground through the left foot, right toe step long to the back of your mat. With control, rise up, high crescent lunge, right to Kali Mudra, fingertips above the head. Commit to this lunge. Spike the right heel high, finding a little buoyancy through the pelvis, and see if you can bring the left knee to stack over the left ankle. Get longer through the sides of your neck, shoulders down and strong. Take a big breath in. Exhale, archer, warrior two, spin the right heel down, pull the right elbow down, reach the left hand up and forward. Commit to this lunge, aim true, bring your vision, your drishti to the left fingertip. Breathe. One more deep inhale. Exhale, goddess squat, turn the right heel in, sit low. Sway from side to side, connect the hands, Kali Mudra. Last time here in goddess, see if you can find a little bit more depth, embracing that challenge even if it feels difficult. 3 rounds of breath here together with Kali breath. Deep inhale. Exhale. One more time. Last here. Inhale, star pose, burst open. Exhale, all 10 toes forward, plant the hands, step back, high plank and pause. Bring the weight to the right hand, roll onto the right pinky edge of your foot, feet stack or stagger. Really lift that bottom hip up and away. You can stagger the feet for a little bit more stability here. And then slowly start to hover the left leg, any amount. Step behind you, wild thing, bend the left knee, press into the feet, lift the hips high, let the left arm fall overhead. Deep inhale. Exhale, back to your high plank through a vinyasa or skip it. We'll meet back in our downward facing dog. Two rounds of breath, and just to give yourself space to reconnect. As you're ready, inhale, sweep the left heel high. Exhale, half pigeon, left knee comes to the left wrist. And then angle the left heel in toward your pelvis as you walk the right leg long. Using the hands for support here. Settle the weight a little bit more to the left hip, which is normally what we avoid in this pose, but for today, for this mermaid pose, this is what we're going for. You might feel a little bit unstable here, so just give yourself a few moments to really settle into the hips. You can rock a little from side to side. Get proud through the chest, but I like to really dump into my belly here. It's one of the worst things you can do, so see if you can engage through the core to support your low back. So never dumping, we're just engaged and stretching. And then see if you can float the fingertips off of the ground here, finding the support just in your legs. And slowly bring the left fingertips in front of your left shin if you'd like to add on right heel into glute. Starting to find that bend in the elbow and really squeezing the right heel in. Now, if you have a deep bend in your right elbow, you can start to work your right foot into the crook of the elbow here, that little hook. And then just apply a gentle pressure here. If you're feeling a lot of funkiness in your knee or any sharp hot pain, let go. Not safe for your knee joint today. We can discuss later. And then as you're ready, you might go for that arm bind just in front of your chest. Maybe you find the Kali Mudra. Or if you're wanting to go a little deeper, left hand reaches back behind you, bend the elbow, and find the grip of your fingertips there. Remembering not to drop the chin, but lift it. Get proud through the front side of your throat. And then really pull the right hip forward. So you're not completely dumping to the left hip. You're allowing space, proud through the chest, belly engaged.
3 more rounds of breath here. Embodying grace and femininity in this pose, even if you don't feel so graceful or feminine in it. The legs are shaking or the mind or the body is resisting. Just take a deeper breath in and a big open mouth Kali breath out. Just as slowly as you came in, very sweetly start to release the heel away from the glute. Let the right leg fall out long. Ground the hands in front of you. Step the right knee a little closer in and then get really strong through the right leg in both arms. Step it back, downward facing dog. Pedal out the knees. Then slowly release down to both shins for hero pose. Now in our hero's pose, for a lot of us, we can feel really tight through the knees or the shins here. So you might take a block or a book or even a couple pillows or blankets and just stick them right underneath your glutes and between your heels to give you a little less pressure on the body here. On the other end of the spectrum, you might not feel enough of a stretch here. So if you'd like to start to bring the weight back behind you, this is a good start. Squeeze the inner thighs, try to keep the knees grounding down towards the earth. Now if you'd still like a little bit more, you can walk the heels a little further outside of the glutes, keeping that squeeze of the knees here. And you might lower down to your forearms or all the way down to your back. If you're on your back and this feels good, you can reach the arms overhead, grabbing for opposite elbows. You might even find more of a relaxed Kali mudra here to keep the theme going. Now, if you get down here and you're like, oh my gosh, mistakes have been made, you can very sweetly and slowly press yourself up the way you came in. Try to take your time here, no flailing as much as you can, and come back to a position today that feels supportive for you. Five more rounds of breath in any of these shapes that you've chosen today. Take the last breath or two wherever you are. If you are down on your back, you can very, very slowly and sweetly start to transition yourself back. Really engage through the legs, work yourself back up to the forearms and the palms, and just very slowly lift yourself back up. When you land back, we'll all meet for one breath in our hero's pose. And slowly rock your weight to one hip, doesn't matter which one. Sweep the legs out in front of you. Get long through the legs and zipper them up together. Adjust your sweet potatoes off to the side and then very slowly lower down to your back. Now our back bend today is going to be a fish pose. If you have propping with you and you're familiar with it, you might take a supported fish pose using a rolled blanket or a pillow underneath your back. If you'd like to get more active with me today and really channel that root and sacral chakra area, we'll move into an active fish pose, which isn't one that I often practice, but I do love it. So the first one is going to be using the arms for support. So your palms will come down by the hips, palm face down, thumbs touch the hips and the glutes here. And you're just going to lift up one butt cheek and then the other, making a diamond shape with your hands right underneath your hips and glutes here. And then you're slowly going to walk the arms in as close as you can, adjusting the hands as you need. And then really squeezing the inner thighs and toes together. Point to the toes actively. Now from here, you're going to start to press into the forearms. Keep working the elbows underneath you and keep pressing into the forearms, and so you can start to puff up the chest and the shoulders here.
Now you're already going to start to be resting towards the top of the head. The chin will be extended long. If you'd like to go more, keep pressing into the forearms until you can fully lift the head off of the ground, look way back behind you, and very, very lightly tap the top or the crown of your head to the earth. Keep active through the legs. Very little weight in the head here, really using the forearms for support. Keep pointing through the toes, and if it feels good, you might even slowly start to hover the heels. Now, this can be a little edgy for people with low back problems, so just back out if it doesn't feel good. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, collie breath, tongue out. And then very sweetly lift the chin to the chest, press into the forearms, and lower all the way down to the back. Then release the hands out from underneath you. Roll the palms open. Take a moment. If you're in a supported fish, very sweetly roll yourself off to one side and move your props out of the way and meet us on your back. Gently draw your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your hands around your shin. Give yourself one good squeeze in. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, supine twist. Right knee crosses over to the left side of your mat. Just let the knee hang heavy here. If you'd like to scooch your left bottom hip a little further underneath you, can. And then try to lift the shoulders so they can both ground down, reaching the arms out wide, or allowing the hands to rest on the torso and the thigh for a little bit more of a supportive feeling. Breathe big here. Did a lot of expelling of the breath with that collie breath today, so you might feel a little buzzy right now still. So with this breath, allow it to be soothing. You might make a little straw-like shape with your mouth and just allow a nice cooling breath out, like you're trying to blow out a candle. If you're enjoying this buzzy, caffeine-like vibe from practice today, you can just sit with that and breathe into it. Wherever you are, one more deep inhale. Exhale of your choice, and then very slowly start to roll to your back. Extend the right leg long. Pull the left knee into your chest. Give it one good squeeze with a big inhale. As you exhale, supine twist other side. Left knee crosses over to the right side of your mat. Arms out wide like angel wings, or allowing the hands to rest on the thigh and the torso. Breathing mindfully here, whatever that looks like for you. If you need to cool down or let go of a little bit of that hot, ferocious energy, you can exhale through that straw mouth. Two more rounds of breath, unhurried and unrushed. Very slowly roll in. Draw both knees in towards your chest this time. Bring the hands to the fronts of the shins. Give them a good pull down. If this feels good, you can bring the hands to the backs of the thighs and the knee pits and start to work the forearms in and then pull down from here. If this feels good, happy baby, grab for the inner or outer edge of your foot. Try to pick one that you don't often do. I always go for the pinky edge, so I'm trying to go the opposite way this time. And then pull the shins in line with the forearms as you kick the heels a little higher. The knees are out wide here, giving plenty of space for the belly. And if you notice your tailbone is lifting sky high to get here, back out. Allow the tailbone and sacrum to root down and reach long through the crown of your head. So the entire spine is really rooting here. And then from this rooting, you can find a little sway from side to side, massaging out the sides of the spine and the kidney band if it feels good. And sometimes movement does not feel good here, so just adjust as you need. And slowly release the hands from the feet. Bring the soles of the feet together and slowly lower the knees out wide, feet to the earth. Coming full circle back to our Supta Baddha Konasana. If you'd like, you can find your Kali Mudra overhead if it feels relaxing. If it's too much work, just allow your arms to open out wide into a cactus shape. Start from the tips of your toes, working your way all the way up slowly to the crown of your head, just noticing any final residual challenge or tension that's holding on. On your next inhale, soak all of that up like a sponge, and as you exhale, let it go, wring it out. And let go of any work in your breath as well. Allow your eyes to close or soften your gaze and start to settle into your Shavasana. Now, if this shape with the legs feels far too intense to rest in, you can always release the arms and the legs long. Remembering that this Shavasana, this rest, is just as important as this powerful practice that we find through movement. Allowing ourselves to reconnect with the ability to sit still within ourselves is highly important. And Kali is a reminder of our strength and ferocious abilities. These abilities to meet and overcome challenge. Within these challenges and sometimes painful situations that we face, we have an opportunity for profound personal growth and the discovery of your true potential. With this thought in mind, of this ferocious feminine quality to you today, allow yourself to take the next few minutes just to rest and reboot. I'll guide you out when it's time. On the next few rounds of breath, begin to welcome yourself back. Taking a few deeper inhales and exhales and starting to navigate your mind back into your physical body, into your space as it is now. And as you feel ready, begin to bring some movements back, starting in the extremities and slowly starting to make the movements bigger.
And very slowly make your way onto one side and press yourself up to an easy seat. Finding Kali Mudra at heart center, interlacing the 3 fingers, thumbs hook, pointer fingers reach out, and just press the back sides of your thumbs into your heart space. Taking a moment to just seal off this practice, aiming true to yourself and finding the ability, that fierceness of Kali to overcome challenges that you may face. In these times, there are definitely more challenges than many of us may ever have been used to. So just allowing time to focus in and to learn to be with yourself, to overcome those challenges with grace and fierceness. Thank you so much for choosing to practice with me today. Namaste. Thank you so much, y'all. My name is Noel. You can find me on Instagram with the Songbird Yogi. All of my playlists on Spotify are public, and I try to link them with the class theme as well. Please, if you are able and willing to donate, blackswanyoga.com/live. If you're streaming from our website right now, it's right underneath you, and you have the opportunity to donate to our Teacher Relief Fund. 100% of your donations go to us as teachers and allow us to maintain these live streams for you guys, which also give me life. So thank you so much for allowing us to continue to be supported in our yoga teaching. If you have questions, please connect with me. I'm still here to support you just as much as in the other studio setting, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, y'all. Take care.